All right, for this video, I want to talk about how to interpret and look at the comments I would or possibly might be placing on your paper. And so I've chosen here a previous student's essay too, and I've removed their name and all that information to protect their identity. But I want to start here by looking at what they have and how it will affect and how to interpret mainly the kinds of things that I will be expecting from you guys. Now, first and foremost, you'll see here the heading, and you'll see here that I have made some line after spacings where I've moved things. For most of these are format changes that I make, and when the time comes in the next video when we talk about cleaning things up, I'll show you how to remove those. Now, example here, this is an example of me with track changes, and this may be located differently for you guys, but I'm going to turn this off because eventually you would need to turn that off in order to correct this and type this up and not have the track changes continue to put new things there. So when the time comes to actually correct this, you'll need to do that. Now, scrolling down here, you'll see here's their thesis statement, and their thesis statement works. This is for an essay 2. Here it is, the clear analyzation, what they're analyzing. I asked them for full names, so you'll see here that I typed in and corrected that, and we'll talk about how to get rid of that. Going down here, one of the things I noted in the quotation was I wanted them to cite more, cite anything you summarize. So that means any of these paragraphs right here, they should have an author and the artist's last name to show that this is summarized information from the text. I also get onto this particular student, also quote and cite in the summary and the analysis both. So I'd be looking for them to quote, and I'd honestly like to see 3 paragraphs rather than 2 paragraphs here. Another thing down here in the analysis, as they sort of start to approach the analysis, not only would I like them to be heeding very specifically to answering particular characters and questions, because most of this actually feels quite a bit like they're still summarizing, I asked them to give me more information and to be quoting information as well. Oftentimes, and then of course down here the conclusion needs a conclusion, also needs a works cited page, because you'll notice there is no works cited page. Oftentimes, basically, the comments that I put on papers break down to 3 categories. Pieces like this right here, these are track change / formatting issues that I have altered. Okay, most of these will ultimately just be simply deleted and accepted. Then there are track changes like this where I've added in things. This is when it's important to return track changes off for whenever you do correct that. So for example, since he's talking about I might type essay 2 analyzing Wade and Wilson's Black Widow. That could work for a title here. And notice since I turned the track changes off, I simply remove it without it altering, because if I had left this on, let me show you real quickly here. I'll back up here. Let's see, if I take the track changes and I leave it on, the moment I do this and I paste that back, see, it's still highlighted in blue and it's not been corrected. So I want to make sure that I turn that off for anything I'm going to delete or correct, so that it just simply deletes it and doesn't assume I'm making more corrections. Okay. And the same thing down here. And typically, you'll see these little lines here on the left-hand side. These usually key you in that there's some sort of change that has been made as well. And so I'm going to scroll down. Now, the other important thing to keep in mind is that this information is right here that you're seeing will only be visible if you download the paper. So now I want to go ahead and end this video, and let's skip over to another video, and let's talk about correcting these things, or the steps you would take in correcting these things and cleaning up your essay as well.